Anderson Cooper and Van Jones just got absolutely torched on live television, live on CNN, and I think that you all need to see it, so let's go ahead and check it out.
Be no love from me or Republicans for Kamala Harris today. In fact, I think the Trump campaign line today ought to be arsonist returns to scene of crime. I mean, look at the last 3.5 years. We've got the border has effectively been open, people flowing across. ICE today released information that there are 13,000 non-citizens convicted of homicide and almost 16,000 non-citizens convicted of some kind of sexual crime who are in the country right now. Only because we're in the shadow of an election is Kamala Harris trying to rush and pay some lip service to this issue as a tactical matter. Anderson, I don't think Harris should be trying to elevate this issue because this is the best ground from which Donald Trump has to fight. So, no, I think the Harris campaign is making a tactical mistake, and I think they have very little to say that the American people are going to buy on this today. Anderson, it's worse than that. It's not that it took them too long. It's that they actively worked to undo everything Donald Trump had done during his time in office. On the first day, they rescinded all of Donald Trump's border executive orders. The floodgates opened. All these people come rushing across. Then it becomes a political problem. And now at the end of the election, they want to blame it on Donald Trump. For her entire career, she has wanted a more permissive immigration structure. When she ran for president before, she wanted to decriminalize border crossings. In her heart of hearts, she wants a more liberal, permissive immigration structure. And in his heart of hearts, Donald Trump wants to crack down on the border. That's why when you look at the CNN polling this week, Trump is far more trusted on immigration than Harris. That is not going to change because of this visit today or anything she says today. The die is cast on this issue. If I were her, I'd want to bury this issue, not make it more prominent. But hey, if she wants to have border events, I think Republicans will rejoice because it'll increase the prominence of this issue for the last month of the campaign.
And this is the typical response that you get from liberals when you present them with facts. They either rage out, get angry, or violent. They laugh like an insane person, like Kamala Harris, or they'll shake their heads. It depends on who's there witnessing the debate or the exchange of words. If there's an audience, like CNN has an audience, a small audience, but they still have people watching, they will shake their heads as you're presenting facts, and they do this to gaslight dumb people into believing that the person who's spitting facts doesn't know what they're talking about, when in reality, the host, like Anderson Cooper, like Van Jones, as they smirk and they shake their heads, they know damn good and well inside their minds that they don't have a response. They don't have a valid response. They can't strike back with facts of their own. All they can do is hope that they can gaslight a small portion of their audience into believing that you don't know what you're talking about. But in reality, they don't know what they're talking about. Because if they did, they could have, said anything back to this guy. They could have shut him down. They could have presented talking points of their own, but they have none, especially when it comes to Kamala Harris. Now, I think it's kind of crazy to think that Kamala Harris is doing a good job or has done a good job at anything. I can't possibly fathom a single reason as to why someone would want to vote for Kamala Harris. But out of everything, right? Out of everything, people pretending like she has not done a horrible job with the southern border, that's the craziest of all. Listen, if you want to pretend and act as if she's done a great job, go ahead and do it. But do not pretend like there's not a crisis at the southern border. Do not pretend like Kamala Harris didn't make it worse. It's kind of like obvious. Some of us have been paying attention, even some of the Democrats, and they've watched, okay? They've watched Trump constantly hammer the point home that we need to do a better job at our southern border, and they've watched people like Kamala Harris either ignore the problem or pour fuel on the fire and make the problem worse. constantly bringing in more people, trying to change the laws, doing this, doing that. And the people in these communities that are being flooded with immigrants, they realize what's going on here. So at the very least, if you want to pretend like Kamala is good at doing this or good at doing that, pretending like she actually did a good job with the southern border, I think that's a step too far for anyone to really believe. Like, even the people who are trying to say that, even people like Anderson Cooper and Van Jones, they know damn good and well it's not true. Which is why all they can do is smirk and shake their heads, hoping that some dumb people will believe that people like me and people like you all watching this video don't know what we're talking about. But for now, I want to know what you're talking about down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.